Welcome back. We are at NAMM 2018 in the Fender booth, wrapping up our tour of the Fender booth with the one, the only Stan Cody. He is the mastermind behind a new line of Fender effects pedals. So Stan, take us through. Why don't you start from the beginning? Where did these pedals come from? What was the inspiration?
Thanks. We have been in the guitar market, as everybody knows, a really, really long time. We've made the guitars, we've made cables, we've made amps. We've had our toes in pedals before, on and off, like with the Fender Blender or the 63 reverb effect, things like that. But a lot of times we'll be like, ooh, let's make a Fender Blender. That was cool. What's next? I don't know, you got to wait 20 years. So we wanted to get in a more concerted way, and we wanted to do something that could be kind of unique and original. The space is got so many great people in it, right? There's so many great boutiques that are super creative and amazing with what they do. There are long established companies that have been in the space for a long time that have great products. So, you look at those two things and you go, well, where can we fit in there? We kind of went back to the roots of our company and thought about player tools, player type centric things where maybe it's more of a working class tool that just to get great sounds out of it in an easy sort of way. We weren't trying to get every feature in the world. So we started with that kind of an idea. We wanted them to be really rugged and robust. We wanted them to be super easy to use. We wanted them to sound great. And then each of them kind of has some unique twists. It's like some reason for it to exist, so it's not just another distortion pedal or another overdrive.
Gotcha. Very cool, very cool. Well, let's go ahead and take a closer look at some of these.
Yeah, okay, cool. So we've got 6 that we're launching at NAMM this year. So there's the level set buffer. It's a front of chain buffer, and what's fun about it is it has controls on it, so if you do guitar swaps, like if you switch from a Strat to something with a humbucker, maybe the humbucker's really loud and clobbers the rest of your system, and maybe the Strat can be a little bit lower volume. So you can go, ooh, I'm on my humbucker guitar, I better pull the level down, and I'm going to add a little bit of chime or sparkle to it. So it just kind of makes guitars play a little nicer together. So that way it's not like, well, when I grab my Strat, I got to set my drive control here and the gain control there and my amp there, right? This is just kind of a one-stop shop to do that. It also has a tuner output, so you can keep a tuner going the whole time. It has a mute switch so you can tune silently. These things have a cool magnetic battery door, so you can get in and change batteries without any tools. The pots light up and glow, and there's a switch so you can turn the LEDs on and off for those. So that's the buffer. We did the bends, which is our compressor pedal. This pedal is really fun in that it has a blend mode, which is typical for compressors these days, but what this guy does that's really neat is it's very, very fast. The detector in it is super fast, so you can have a ton of compression. Compressors will listen to your guitar, and when you start to play louder, they'll bring the guitar volume down automatically, right? But sometimes, if you play something really big and abrupt, the compressor goes, oh no, and brings the volume down, and there's a pop or a blam. This guy gets on the front of the note really fast. So you can play a quiet chord and play a really loud chord, and it just grabs the note and controls it. So it's great for, it's very deterministic or very easy. It's predictable when you play. Okay. And it's got plenty of output levels, so it can be a good, clean boost. Fred in the background. The Santa Ana Overdrive is fun. This was designed by my pal Alex Aguilar, who's a great guitar player, great engineer. Alex set this up as a field effect transistor-based distortion pedal, but he ran the FETs at a higher voltage, so they behave more like tubes. So this thing cleans up really well from your guitar volume. It goes anywhere from just like almost no gain, like the tiniest little bit of gain, to like a ton of gain, and then it cleans up super nicely, so you can kind of switch rhythm and lead just on your volume control. The voicing switch is fun because some people will describe amps as being like not very pedal friendly. Like maybe amp is super bright and chimey, which is great for rhythm playing, but it might be a little too bright and make pedals sound fizzy. So the voicing switch changes the mid-range character and modifies the top end, so it makes it play nicer with amps. Like maybe a deluxe reverb is a good example of a pedal of an amp that sometimes people go, I don't know if it's totally pedal friendly or not, just because it's very bright and beautiful and angelic and clean. So there's a boost. And the boost can either be set to give you more drive or more level, and there's a switch on the back for that. So a really cool feature set, great sounding pedal. The Pugilist distortion, this is 2 separate distortion engines in one box, and you can blend them. And the fun thing about that is you can also stack them if you want, but the blend part is cool because you can take a really gainy, girthy, big, fat, thick distortion sound, and you can blend it with a cleaner, brighter distortion sound, and then what happens is you tend to hear the pick notes more, and you tend to hear denser chord voicings and things. So it gives you the rawness and the power of the high gain channel, but you still get the clarity and articulation from the lower gain side, but it still feels like distortion. It doesn't feel like a blended clean with a distorted thing. So, and then when you stack it in series, it gets mondo amounts of gain. There's a bass boost switch, so if you use it with an amp that's already distorted, you probably don't want it to be muddy, so you turn the bass boost off. But if you're playing through a small amp or a clean amp, it gives you a little more punch, which is cool.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much, Stan. I know we got a couple other pedals, but we'll get to them at another time. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
it.
Enjoy the show.
Yeah,
Thanks for
any
stopping by.
questions about these brand new pedals, be sure to drop those questions in the comments below.